I was
Yeah.
watching some Gills Arena. They had Greg Oden on,
Oh
and
dang.
they was pandering, talking
Mm-hmm.
about he not a bust, and he said he wasn't a bust because when he was on the court, he was doing his thing or whatever, which is true. When Greg
Yeah.
Oden played, he was good. In college, him and Mike Conley were both freshmen. They got all the way to the championship game against the Joakim Noah Florida team with Al
Mm-hmm.
Horford, Corey
Yeah.
Brewer, them guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Greg Oden was good. But you got to remember, he was ranked over Kevin Durant. And my whole thing was, yes, Ohio State got further when Greg Oden was in college, but Durant was the freshman of the year, player of the year. He literally got every award you can get as a freshman. Um, I just didn't think Greg Oden was ever better than Kevin Durant coming out of high school, coming out the draft. And then when he got hurt, of course he's not better. Then Kevin Durant had a legendary career. My question
Mm-hmm.
is, what is a bust and is Greg Oden a bust to you?
So, they are pandering, and it's just because of that word bust. In my opinion, a bust is a failed draft pick, regardless of injury, regardless of talent, whatever. Now, you can add context to that bust so that word maybe not be so harsh when you're applying it to somebody. So Greg Oden, yes, he's a bust, but we understand why he's a bust because of injuries, some things out of his control, and things like that. Anthony Bennett, that's a different story. That bust is gonna feel a little harsher when you use it on him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a matter of adding that context so that it feels either light or softer on whoever you putting it on. But in my opinion, they still bust. Like a bust to me is a draft pick that didn't work out, a draft pick where you could have had somebody better, whatever. So that's how I
And
feel.
and it's not my thing is I think bro, this gonna sound crazy, and I'm sorry, but I think getting injured saved Greg Oden's perception of his career
That's crazy.
because hear me out. There's no possible way he would have been better than Kevin Durant, bro. Do you think even at his highest ceiling, it would have been better than what Kevin Durant has showed throughout his career?
Well, we only got to see him with Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge for just a very short period of time. And when they was on the court together, they were winning games. So I mean, Portland over there
But
had two
would
guys that are hurt all
but
the
would
time
he
in
have
Brandon
been better
Roy and
than
Greg Oden.
KD?
Would he have been better personally in his own career? Mm, it's debatable, but probably not. I mean, Kevin Durant is that guy, and he
But you see what I'm
clearly,
saying?
yeah, I see what you're saying. That of course, Portland probably would have been looked at crazy. Oh, you didn't take Kevin Durant, but I mean, I don't blame them for taking Greg Oden because he was dominant coming out. He was
And
dominant. He was
see,
that guy.
and that's where we disagree. I blame them for Kevin Durant for taking Greg Oden over Kevin Durant. My thing is, you're the Portland Trailblazers. I remember at the time they were saying they needed a center. They already have Travis Outlaw and Martell Webster. That was the reason why they thought they didn't need Kevin Durant, bro. Just like you saying, you got Brandon Roy over there, you got LaMarcus Aldridge over there. Now put Kevin Durant right there. We've been seeing Kevin Durant is the best plug-in player in the history of the NBA.
Now that is true. You can Kevin Durant. You can have anybody on your team. You can plug and play him. He'll fit perfectly.
I think Greg Oden was, I ain't gonna call him overrated, but I kind of overrated just because he was a big man. I think it was just strictly because he was a big man. He was a damn good big man. But
Oh
Kevin
yeah.
Durant was nothing like we ever seen. I remember just because I was a Texas fan, so I'm watching Kevin Durant every game pretty much, and I'm just saying like Kevin Durant. I'm like, bro, he's a taller T Mac. That's what I was saying in my head at that time. I'm like, bro, this dude is
Mm.
doing everything T Mac does, but he's taller. Why would you not take a better version, more healthy version of T Mac? That's what I thought he was gonna be. And it turns out
Yeah.
he's better than, you know what I'm saying? So I just didn't, I think Greg Oden is a bust because first of all, they say availability is the best ability. He wasn't available. And
Mm-hmm.
second, because the person picked right after him, the person he was over during his high school years was better than him, Kevin Durant. So not only didn't you not play, so you're a bust in that sense, it was a high likelihood that you wouldn't have been better than the person that was picked right after you, and that you was ahead of your whole career. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, yeah, that's true, but we've also seen where Okay, so that's just, but that if that same thing applies and he plays well, right? Is would that same thing apply to then Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan? Hakeem Olajuwon was #1 overall pick. He had a great career, but was he ever in? He was never Michael Jordan. He was not the player Michael Jordan was. But we're not going to call Hakeem Olajuwon a bust just because Michael Jordan was better. In that same sense, if Greg Oden stayed healthy and had a good career, we wouldn't necessarily say he's a bust or that they messed up if he had a good career. If Kevin Durant's just blowing him out the water, yes, I agree with that. But we don't know. That's all I'm gonna push back on.
Now, if Portland would have won championships, see, now I get what you're saying.
Okay,
he wouldn't have been
yeah,
a bust. If he wouldn't have been a bust, even if Greg Oden, let's say he was 20-11 his whole career, and KD was still KD. And like let's say Greg Oden made a couple All-Star teams, probably 1 or 2 All NBAs. Okay, he's not a bust, but he still wasn't the best pick available at that time. So it's like, nah, you're not a bust, but it's like you're not better than the person that came after you. And then the fact that you didn't play, that's what made you a bust. And I get what you're saying, but he a bust, bro. We can agree on that though, right?
No, we can agree on that. There ain't nothing wrong with saying it.
Not talent wise, but availability wise, and then with the person that you was always ranked over, what he done. I'm just saying.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can live comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I would never quit.